Hey nerds, what's up? It's been a minute, and I wanted to do kind of a wrap up of all the books that I've missed while being like off and on, and I'll tell you that my reading has been like this, and then this, and then this, and then this, since I've basically been on this unexpected hiatus. If you haven't been following the few videos that I have posted, pretty much this hiatus has happened because I got pregnant, which is really exciting and overwhelming, which is probably why I haven't been filming. Part of it is overwhelming just because, like, physically, emotionally, draining and exciting, and it's like kind of all you can think about when it happens. Like, there's so much. I am planning on making a video when I hit 20 weeks kind of talking about the first half of this pregnancy. If you haven't watched already, I'm filming this on the day that I'm doing a live show with Chelsea. We probably will talk about pregnancy today in that live, along with reading and everything else. I've been reading a little bit off and on, and so I thought I would just kind of go through those books and what I thought of them while doing my makeup. Pregnancy hormones are not doing me any favors on the acne. I struggle with acne all the time, but I did have it pretty under control, and then babies make everything change. So I am going to put some makeup on. I know that I posted a video about some romances, so we'll talk about those in a second just quickly. But the first book that I've read since this mini hiatus was Twilight. I reread it, and it was kind of a let's try to get out of this huge slump that started this whole thing, which is initially why I wasn't filming, but it was also stemming from, like, I found out I was pregnant, and then I was like, what's reading? Like, I was stressed and emotional and also exhausted and all this stuff. So I just wasn't reading for a good, like, couple months. And then I picked up Twilight. That was fun. I also went back to work, and just a bunch of stuff happened. And so, yeah, so I did that. And then I did the reading vlog, which I'll link in the cards. And that one was on One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, and Well Met by Jen DeLuca. And all three of those were pretty fun. I gave Twilight a 5 out of 5 stars, mostly for nostalgic reasons. Like, do I think Twilight is the best written book of all time? Absolutely not. But do I have a great time every time I pick it up? Yes, I do. And we'll get to it in a second, because I also reread New Moon in the last few months. And it does, like, bring up some great discussion points. Like, each time that I reread these books, I feel like I have a different perspective, which is partially why I love to reread books. But Twilight didn't really, like, bring anything new up for me. I mostly just was having a grand old time reading it. I absolutely loved. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's a cute romance. It has, like, a time warp thing going on. I personally dropped a star because I think that it could have been a better book had it not ended with a perfect ending. I think a more bittersweet ending would have done it a better justice, but that's just me. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, I gave a 4 out of 5 stars also, mostly because as much as I really loved the whole story, I loved the kind of friends with benefits to the recognition that, like, I want more than this and you need to figure out how to give it to me or we're done. I liked that whole plot of the story, and I liked the kind of, Colleen always tends to put this, like, these crazy twists or, like, fucked up stories in the center of a romance, and I always do enjoy those. This one in particular, I felt like I really was missing that representation of, like, getting actual help, because I felt like the reasoning behind, like, the fucked up part was so deep and important, and I didn't feel like it ever was really addressed for it to be fixed, I guess, or for anybody to heal from it. And I it really did leave me a little bit disappointed, but I still gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The sex was great. The romance was fun. And overall, I did like the way she told the story of, you know, the fucked up history type of stuff. Well Met by Jen DeLuca, I gave a 3 out of 5 stars. I did like it. It has the Renaissance Fair is like where the plot is from and taking place, and that was like the best part of it. I liked the romance. Also, it's a hate to love. Overall, I felt like the issues that arise that make, you know, the climax and everything was kind of dumb. It's a lot of just, you know, the common issue of not saying what you're actually thinking, and if you had actually just talked to each other, this issue wouldn't have arisen, and it was kind of dumb. So I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read Supernova by Marissa Meyer, which is the 3rd book in the Renegade series. I really like that series a lot. It's very X-Men-esque. I had a good time finishing the series. I do think the ending, I don't know. I mean, it's a YA, like, fantasy sci-fi, I guess. I don't even know exactly, like, I liked it. I did. I think the ending felt a little rushed. I liked the way that we get these, like, throughout the whole story, we have all these morally gray characters and all of this, and I think maybe I wanted to get a little bit more at the end. Like, I liked the epilogue, but I feel like we needed another epilogue. Or like a push into maybe a few more years later, maybe is what I needed. I don't know. It was missing something at the end. But I really liked it. 4 out of 5 stars on that one. Then, like I said, I reread New Moon. Okay, this one I only gave a 3 out of 5 stars this time. And this book is my least favorite in the series always. So it doesn't surprise me that this one has the lowest of my ratings. I always hate New Moon because I think the entire plot line of it is just so stupid. Like, we all know the Twilight series, right? The fact that Edward is literally so stupid. Like, he thinks that he's helping and, you know, making her safer when she's already been in the center of so much, you know, fantastical danger, but he thinks that him leaving is going to whatever. And then, like, the fact that he just refuses to understand that Alice, I don't know. And then there are some plot holes in the whole Alice aspect that get started in this book, and you'll see them later. Like, the fact that she can't see the wolves and everything, doesn't that mean she can't see Renesmee's future ever? Because initially she couldn't see Renesmee when she was in the womb, but that was because of Bella's blocking. But then later, Renesmee is going to be entwined with Jacob forever, but then she can see, from what I remember, some of her future. I don't know. I just, some of the things, of course, like I said earlier, Twilight is not the best written thing you'll ever read, by any means. There are much better books. And mostly I've been reading them just for the, fuck of it, because I like to reread things and I like nostalgia and they're fun. New Moon is my least favorite book for a reason, mostly because I think this book is also the biggest showing of just Edward's complete disregard for his partner's wishes. And there's a lot of, like, controlling stuff. Like, just the fact that he, like, makes all of these decisions for her, thinking that it's what's best, but doesn't actually ask the way that she wants it done. And there's stuff with Jacob, too, that's, like, kind of in that unhealthy role with Jacob and Bella. And I don't know. It's, like, I love the Jacob and Bella scenes. I love the fun that they have together in that book, but I don't like the way I don't know. I don't like some of it and I like some of it. It's very mixed because it's nostalgic also. So anyways, I had a grand old time. And then most recently, I read The Butterfly Garden. I finished it this morning and holy shit, it is so good. Butterfly Garden is pretty well loved on BookTube. I feel like it's not super new. It's pretty old, and I know for sure Allie from the Hardback Hoarder really enjoys this book, and then Natasha from My Reading is Odd was talking about it. Margaret was talking about it on Twitter when I was tweeting about, is this book gonna fuck me up? And so this book, in case you don't know what it's about, is like kind of a horror mystery thriller, maybe. So it's about this girl who has been rescued at the start of the novel, and she's being interviewed by the police, by the FBI. So she was rescued from the Butterfly Garden, and that is where this man called the gardener was keeping like many girls, and he would tattoo butterfly wings on them, and then they were held captive. He would, of course, rape them. He also would kill them when they hit a certain age and put them in resin, keeping their wings that he tattooed on them on display. So that's like the main, the general umbrella plot of like where she was kept, and it's about all of the details of that. And there's this underlying concern from the police that are interviewing her, thinking she may have been involved because she hasn't reacted to being saved the way that they expect her to. And all the girls look at her like for, is it okay to talk and stuff like that. And it's really, really good. It is definitely like a hard read. It's very dark and pretty gruesome. There's explicit rape scenes on the page, along with other death and stuff like that. Some of it accidental, some of it not. It was really good. I was worried. It's an interesting thing to be reading right now because I am overly emotional being pregnant. And I have heard that a lot of people who have babies and who get pregnant struggle with like reading about kids being taken or killed or, you know, bad things happening to them, because obviously now there is that thought of like, I'm having one of those. I don't know if I'm having a girl or a boy yet. Not to say that they couldn't decide what to be other than that if they wanted to, but it's really intense to read it having that different perspective, I guess. And I didn't know if I was going to like it, you know, like reading it. But I've also been reading I've been watching a lot of thrillers lately. And it almost feels like I maybe have an expiration date to like when I'm going to be able to enjoy these things. So I'm like, I better get it all in before I actually have an infant, because I feel like part of me still hasn't 100% wrapped my mind around the fact that like I'm going to be a mom, I am going to have a kid. That hasn't 100% hit yet. So like, maybe this is my last chance before that hits to like enjoy these really dark, fucked up stories. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I will struggle with that. 'Cause like, I don't like what's considered a horror movie. I don't like those types of movies, but I do really love thrillers, and I like survivor stories where survivors of different horrific events like rape, sexual assault, and things like that, I like reading their stories. So I don't know if that's still going to be true in a few months. I think I'm giving that book a full 5 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. The ending was crazy. It's actually part of a series called the Collector series, but I looked up the plot of like number 2, and it seems to me that it's kind of like companion novels where you have a different mystery, and the connection between them is like that it's the same police department, which the FBI don't play like a huge role in it, but it is the way that this book is set up is like all of the story you get of what happened in the garden is the interview of the girl Maya telling the police her story. So like they are there, and we do get the little snippets in between her storytelling of like what they're thinking and like what their questions are and stuff like that. And like it is interesting. I like that aspect of it a lot, and I really do hope that I continue to enjoy stories like this, because it's always been kind of one of my favorite genres, I guess. Some of my favorite books are like Pretty Girls by Kristen Slaughter. Oh, His and Hers by Amanda Foody, maybe? I forget who wrote that. That one's really good. Those are the books that I've read since being away. It's not many, but like I'm not upset about the amount that I read. Like, I'm happy with it. And I am planning on filming some other videos today that'll include a TBR. I'm going to be participating in Becca's Bookopoly-thon and the Magical Readathon. I'm trying to like push myself, and like maybe I'll fail. I don't know, but we'll see. I really am hoping that I'll have fun. I'm having fun looking at the prompts. I'm excited, and I hope that I do continue to like doing these things. So let me finish my face real quick. That is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I am trying to get into my schedule for filming, but bear with me. Like I've been saying pretty much in every video that's gone up in the last few months, I am struggling with like keeping my motivation with filming and reading, both of them, and it's because I'm growing a whole human. I know that there are other people who have had babies on this platform who make videos continuously and like still do it, so any advice? How did you handle the balance between like what's going on here and here, on top of wanting to do this like hobby of ours, making videos? I'm having trouble finding the balance, both because of this, I think, and then also just, you know, the straight up pandemic we're still living through, and I did go back to work, like I said. I think all of that is kind of compounding. We are moving also. We are 99% sure we're moving. We haven't quite signed the contract yet, but assuming that there's not something crazy wrong with the house, we will be signing a contract to move. So like that's an overwhelming thing that's going on. So I just have a lot going on in my life right now, on top of this going on in my life. But yeah, so to any parents out there, especially those who have birthed the baby, how did you balance like all of the emotional stuff and all of the physical stuff, and then also continue reading, let alone making videos? Because I would like to do it. I do really like doing this. I've been doing it for a long time. It's like one of my favorite outlets. And I just am struggling with the balance. So let me know in the comments. And also I will be doing that video that I mentioned on my 20-week progress of this pregnancy. So if you have any like questions for me, whether it's for like trying to get pregnant or this pregnancy, even if it's pertaining to the miscarriage that I had earlier this year, I'm pretty much an open book. So if you have any specific questions about my experience thus far in any of those aspects, then feel free to comment down below. And I'll see you guys with a new video hopefully next week. Peace out. Bye.